Alison, I'm so happy to meet you in Dubai.
I'm so happy to meet you and happy to be here.
I'm a big fan of Net-a-Porter, and I'm so excited to discuss with you your strategy and how you adapt to the growth in the market. We're expecting by 2020 a rapid and robust growth in the e-commerce business.
Well, for us, I mean, we find ourselves in a really fortunate position in that the business that we're doing in the Middle East is not new. Saying that, we have new customers coming in all the time, but Net-a-Porter was launched in 2000. And our first order to the Middle East, and we started off global, though it was very much at that point a sort of smaller operation out of the UK. Yeah. Our first order to the Middle East was in 2001, so less than a year after we launched. So for us, you know, the Middle Eastern market and our customer or our prospective customer is an early adopter, loves fashion, and has really embraced this notion of luxury e-commerce. So from our side, we welcome the growth, and you know, we've been lucky to see it for the past 17 years. A way in which we're trying to make the service even better is by localizing.
Definitely. How will you localize?
So towards the end of next year, so in the second half of 2019, Net-a-Porter and Mr. Porter will be on the ground.
Amazing. You will see the
You will
the
see
cars,
our vans.
the vans.
You will see our vans for same-day delivery.
Amazing.
We'll have, the site will be translated, there'll be local payment systems offered, other sort of bespoke localized services as well, and we'll have a distribution center here, which of course empowers the same-day delivery.
Tell me about the trend. I know on Net-a-Porter first comes customer care and customer service, and customers dictate what's coming next for you. Tell me about the trend that you got from your customers that you're adapting now, like a new trend in customer service.
There's one in particular that stands out. I mean, there's sort of a trend from a product standpoint, which is less of a trend and more of a product offer, which I'll come to second. But the first is really a service which I'm very curious to see if there's appetite for this in the Middle East, and it's called wait and return. And the story is this. So we have a same-day delivery now that operates in London, the New York tri-state region, and Hong Kong. And the service is most established in London because it was first, and our drivers over the years, some of them have gotten to know their customers. And so one of the drivers said to me, he said, listen, I hope it's okay, but sometimes, you know, with some of my customers, I'll drive up to their door, and if they're home, I'll give them their order, and they've asked me to try things on, and if I would mind waiting and then taking it back to the warehouse. Amazing. And I was delighted, because for me, you know, I love that everyone in the business is really taking the initiative to improve on service. And so from this idea, wait and return was developed, and the customer's happy. Operationally, it makes us that much more efficient, because if a piece isn't being kept, it gets to get booked into stock that much more quickly.
It's epic also to have a personal shopper coming with the driver.
Yes, exactly.
Why
exactly. And the second piece I wanted to mention, and I would imagine that's something you wanted to speak about as well, is in terms of product. And one of the things, or two things that we've seen come out of this market specifically are, you know, needs around certain times of year. So for Ramadan in particular, for years, our personal shoppers, as you said, would field questions and requests of, do you have anything specific?
Kaftan.
Could you put together an edit for me? I know you guys have things that would work, but could you put together an edit? So for years we did that, and we did it on a bespoke one-to-one level. And then we'd also put together curated lists on site. And actually, it became so popular that we started doing it more in a more overt way, probably about 3 years ago. And this year, sort of the second half of last month, we just launched our latest collection.
Ramadan.
And it's the first time that we've partnered directly with brands, with Erdem, with Etro, Rima Akra, America Transu, to say, will you guys put together a capsule for us just for our customer? And it really followed feedback that we had around specific things they wanted. I want a lean silhouette, I want a sleeve. I'd like a higher neck, I'd like I want a trouser option. And so I think those two are good examples of customers leading the way.
So you target a global woman as well with this collection on Ramadan, not only for the region.
Yes, absolutely. And so far, I mean, the number one market thus far has been the Middle East, but actually second market to date has been the UK.
You have an amazing VIP database. How would you describe the extremely important person that is located in the GCC versus the one that is in the States, let's say?
So as a whole, we have a very discerning, fabulous woman. I think specific to this region, she's that much more fashion forward. She loves new designers. She likes a balance between sort of established designers and new brands, which is something we were talking about earlier. She's a very early adopter of trends, and she's super digital. And so what I mean, an example of that, and what I mean by that is if I think about the migration to mobile commerce, over half of our business around the world
on the apps
is being done via mobile. In the Middle East, it's 71%.
Wow.
And actually, most of the interaction with personal shopping, and just to clarify for your viewers, you get up once you become one of our extremely important people who are our most engaged customers, you are assigned a personal shopper. And most of the contact that those customers are having with their personal shopper in this region is via WhatsApp.
Wow, amazing.
So it's
and
mobile
what's
and
the
then
percentage
messaging.
Of your customer?
So it's 3% of the customer base and 40% of the revenue. For this market though, the concentration is higher, so it's 12% of the customer
amazing.
base.
Now we see the reason you're here for us. Tell me, who buys a necklace for more than £100,000 online? And I want to go, I want to touch, I want to feel the love to this piece. How come a customer will buy a £100,000 necklace online just with a click?
Well, I think it's sort of the same answer that you would give to why would you buy fashion online and why would you buy a handbag online?
It's relative, just relative.
Well, I think, for us, we launched our fine watch and jewelry initiative. We announced we were doing it, and then we really launched it properly last year. And we have fantastic brands on board: Cartier, IWC, JLC, Chopard, Boucheron, Buccellati. So wonderful brands, as well as independent players as well. And what we found is actually there isn't, despite the fact that the customer is buying off a smaller screen, so I describe the mobile as a store in your pocket.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that the screen size has gotten smaller, the size of the order is not.
It goes up.
Well, we sold a £65,000 watch on mobile the other day. And throughout the fine watch category, we had sold our most expensive individual item to date, which was another watch at €140,000.
If it's an established brand, okay, I understand. I have already a relation with the brand. If it's a Piaget necklace or watch, I know Piaget, I know what to expect. But I see some brands that I don't know that are on this margin as well. Like, this is my question. How do they build trust? This is the trust with Net-a-Porter?
Yeah, and for me, and coming back to those sales of high ticket items, for me, the most satisfying thing is not just the commercial aspect. I mean, of course, it's wonderful to be able to sell product at that price point, and it's a revenue driver. But for me, it's really indicative of the trust that the customer has in us.
You disrupted the online, the retail, the shops, the experience in the shops. Who might disrupt you?
Oh, what a nice question. For us, I like to think that we have our eyes and ears all over the place. So I think, what I say to the teams is it's incredibly important to be focused. You've got your customer and focus on your business, but also look around. So it's never wear blinders, never suffer from myopia, because that's a disaster. For me, we know the players who are out there. We know the platforms that are out there in terms of mobile. And it's a question of what we don't know and what's being cooked up in the background.
And how fast do you adapt to change when you know something?
We adapt quickly. I mean, it's interesting because, again, despite the fact that Net-a-Porter is 17, with the size and scale of our business allows us to move fast. And what I mean by that is we've got the experience, we've got the know-how and the resource to be able to respond quite quickly to
and
things.
mostly the direct contact with your customers. Tell me about your latest discovery and a new fashion emerging brand, beauty brand, and accessories brand, and jewelry brand, 4.
Oh my gosh, okay. They're not all new, but there just might be things that I've tried
and you love
recently and I love. So in no particular order, there is a brand called Stout that we found actually through Instagram, which is a cross category, but on the ready-to-wear side, wonderful and I adore.
Immediately.
There is a denim brand, new-ish, not like brand spanking new, called Mother, which does a phenomenal job in the fit. And I'm a jeans person through and through. On the shoe front, I do try lots of brands, but I have to say that I'm rather loyal to my John Vito Rossi shoes. So I will happily try, and it's not the only thing I wear, but it's, how certain times you have a go-to that you're always coming back to again and again and again. I would say that on the beauty side, I've tried many, many things. And again, whenever this following brand launches a new product, I always am the first in and adore it, which is a brand called Sarah Chapman, who's a London-based facialist whose products I absolutely adore. And then on the jewelry side, I love Amrapali. I love Buccellati, not new, I would hasten to add, and I'm a big fan of Jennifer Fisher.
Amazing. Tell me, will I see more of emergent local designers from the region on Net-a-Porter? We've seen few, but not enough.
We scour the global stage. So, and it's unfortunately, it's not always, not unfortunately, but it's not always a sort of United Nations of, there isn't always sort of equal representation across markets, but that's not intentional. So the idea is, where my buyers find product that they love and collections that are filling a gap in terms of other things we offer or things we know the customer will respond to, or product that's breaking the mold. Those are things we'll pick up. So absolutely. And I think the very fact that we spend more time in this market and we have fantastic teams on the ground with eyes and ears, then absolutely it's a space we'll be watching closely.
Alison, it's a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming to see me.
Thank you.